What up, DJ-Murph, Recovery Talk. Let's get into it. All right, this week I want to talk about what's going on in my life. Some of the struggles I have and how I deal with it. Um, so first thing I want to talk about is my mom passing away 3 years ago, and when that happened, I did relapse for like 6 months, and I took it really hard. I was the only child. My mom was always that safety net for me. No matter what, my mom had me, and it really hit me hard when she passed away, and I didn't handle it well. And which brings me to my first thing. I really want everybody to know, if you have a support group network, if you have support, use it, because my wife probably could have prevented that relapse if I would have let her know how bad I was struggling. I didn't want her to worry about me. I didn't want to put my pain on her shoulders. So instead of opening up and letting her know how bad I was hurting and all that, I just kept quiet. And I was around someone who was using, so I wound up using. And I thought, like I've talked about in the previous episode, I had years clean, so I thought I'll just get high once. I got this. And yeah, that's not how it happened. I got high once and spent 6 months high. And if I just would have opened up, that probably wouldn't have happened, because then once I got high, I started hating myself. So that made me get high. It just was a cycle. The more I got high, the more I hated myself. The more I got high. So luckily, she is a recovering addict, so she picked up right away. Was like, I'm not losing you, the person I love, to addiction, because who you become when you're using is not who you are. And she pulled me back, and I can never thank her enough for being there for me, which is why in another episode I mentioned that there's something to be said about the strength of a relationship when you're going through like, or trying to come out of active addiction. And that might not be the best time to start a relationship, but if you're in one, her telling me that she loved me and I was worth something, really brought me back from the edge when, I hated myself. I didn't think I was worth shit. Nobody was a bigger scumbag than me, at least in my own mind. And yeah, she really pulled me back. And if I would have not not kept my feelings to myself, trying to be like the strong, silent type, I probably wouldn't have relapsed at the time. But I recovered, in recovery since then. And since more recently, my son's been diagnosed with leukemia. That's been hard, but luckily, I've had the opposite reaction to my mom's cancer and her death. I mean, my son's not dying; he's doing all right. But when I first found out, I was scared as hell. And so instead of doing, like, when my mom got sick, I just got scared, and I felt like I got weak, But when my kid is the one getting sick or is sick, that's not even a question for me. Like, I've had a completely different reaction. I have to be strong for my kid, do whatever I need to. I've never even had a thought about using over it. And that surprised me, but it's not like I don't have thoughts at all. So, being in a routine, like I've mentioned before, I see the sunrise every single morning. I get up at like 4:30. I actually watch the national anthems on at CBS at 4:30 every morning. So that kind of wakes me up, puts me in the good mood, and so I listen to that. And me and my wife go watch the sunrise. That's my chill time. Me and her have quiet time to discuss our lives, what's going on in the kids' lives, and that routine really keeps me centered. And I have a lot of goals. Like, this channel is something I've wanted to do for a while. I want to, speak my mind about addiction, talk to people. I'm hoping to start a real community here. So, hopefully we get something going. But even if not, it's therapeutic for me. You know, it gives me a sounding board that I could just like spout off. And if anything else, I always feel better after I do one of these videos, much like I feel better after a group or a meeting or something like that. So yeah, I mean, you know, things keep happening. Like another one of my kids has a seizure condition, and you know that's scary to see. Like anybody who's ever seen a grand mal seizure knows what I'm talking about. But it is terrifying, and when it's one of your kids, every time, every time's like the first time. You're terrified. You know, you don't really ever get fully used to it. I don't anyway. But you know, keeping a routine, having goals. You know, I love who I am today. You know, I am who I am because of what I went through. So I don't hide my past. I'm an addict. Everybody that knows me knows I'm an addict. And that's made me the person I am today. It's given me life experience that I believe will help me get through anything. I mean, anybody who's watching this who's an addict, I know you've been through a lot. You've seen a lot. And those are fucking you've been forged in fire. You know, so when you get clean or if you are clean and you're recovering, you know, you're going to be the person you are now or in recovery. I would bet on that person over the person you would have been if you never used, because that person wouldn't have the life experience that you have. Now, so I go for walks a lot. I find walks, being outdoors in general makes me feel good. Being out in the sun, you know, just the open air, the sunshine makes me feel good. So going for walks is big for me. Not everybody will like going for walks, but that's for me. I read a lot. I listen to a lot of books on tape. I like doing that when I'm driving. So that's really an escape for me. But you know, you guys out there, you don't have to do what I do. Whatever works for you. I always say, you know, methadone or suboxone, it saves people's lives. I know a lot of people will say you're just replacing one drug for another, but I don't believe that. You know, you can get your life together on suboxone and methadone. You can really like start to make progress in your life, and if that's what you need to have a happy life, that's the end goal, isn't it? That's what recovery is supposed to give us. If you're happy, productive, people trust you, people love to see you, you're happy, what else do you need? I mean, that's what it's about. So I just don't buy into that whole you're replaced, because the science is behind it. Whether you agree with that or not, it is. You know, Matt's the most successful way of recovering. But regardless of whether you believe that or not, I love 12 steps. So if you're 12 step, I do step work. I have a sponsor. I had sponsors. So I'm not against that. And I think everybody should try it, because if nothing else, even if they don't agree with everything you're doing, you take what you need and leave the rest. There's definite help to be had in the rooms, and there's definite community. So that can be helpful for a lot of people. So I encourage that. Church, that's not my thing. Church isn't my thing, but if it's your thing, it helps people. It's real. Again, community, and it gives you something to give you hope, and that's what some of us need sometimes. We need hope. So whatever you need to do to get your life together, that's what you should do. Don't listen to anybody else. It's your life. You deserve to have a chance to get it together. So that's my piece on that. I also have a lot of hobbies. I DJ. That is something that I'm trying to build again into a business. I was a club DJ. Then I had a semi-successful mobile business, but then I kind of let that fall apart around the time my mom was dying. And then before COVID, I was starting to build it back up. But then since COVID, I haven't had any gigs. So I'm working on that, and I'm going to make different playlists on this channel that'll document more about that. And I want to like just document my progress. If I have any progress, my successes, my failures, put it all out there, let you guys see it. And yeah, so whatever you guys got to do, do it. What else do I got? Yeah, meetings. Meetings will help. Secrets will not help. Sorry, I got a little tongue tied there, but don't keep secrets from your loved ones. Secrets will keep you sick. It's one step closer to relapsing. Before I relapsed, like when my mom died, I noticed I can look back now and see that how my relapse started happening beforehand, because I wasn't talking about how I really felt, and other little secrets started to creep in there, and that progresses. And so they say you relapse before you pick up the drug, and I believe that I definitely relapsed before I pick up the drug. So you got to be open. You got to be open with people. Even if you don't want to, tell people if you're feeling you're having urges. Just get it out there. Tell on yourself. I know it sounds like a cliche, but it'll help. It'll keep you honest. Anyway, that's all I got for this week. Next week, I want to talk about once a junkie, always a junkie. Is that true? I don't think that's true, but there's a lot of people out there that do think it's true, and I want to talk about how we you know, deal with our past being thrown in our face, deal with overcoming our past. A lot of us are felons. How do we deal with that? A lot of us have family that don't trust us still, or maybe will never trust us. How are we going to deal with that? There's just a lot I want to talk about next week. Again, any thoughts anybody has on this video, any other video I've had, my upcoming video, please comment below. Like I said, anything I ever talk about on this show is always open for discussion. I want it to be open-ended discussion always. Hopefully I'll get somebody to watch these videos soon, and then we'll start having discussions in the comments. But yeah, everything's on the table. No holds barred. Let me hear what you got. Even if you fucking hate everything I stand for, I want to hear what you got to say, because I don't have all the answers. So, an open discussion is the best way to help people and to come up with good solutions. So, tell me what you got, and I'll see you next week.